Hey guys, what's up? Well, this is not gonna be my last review. It's gonna be more of something I want to cover, something real quick. So, with SMG4 done and dealt with, mention, this year SMG4 has been done and dealt with. Let's just review the rest of it. And no, I'm not gonna cover the rest of the YouTube arc since I already covered its own video. Actually, I already given its own review and its own script. This video is going to be more of a roll out of the tongue and see what I can just say about these episodes. So, yeah, let's just talk about the episode. So the first episode after the entire YouTube arc of Mario, of SNG4 and Mario just dealing with SNG3 for basically a temporary deal, as well as just dealing with him temporarily, is Mario scratching his ass. He wants is coming anyways. Yeah, this is where we're starting with. Mario scratching his ass. This. Yeah, this video is just basically Mario trying to scratch his ass in the video, and yeah, but hey, at least it's still an interesting video. And secondly, I do also like Person's Rap Master, who's breaking the fourth wall in the arc, despite the fact. Also, by the way, I want to ask, where the hell were those two throughout the entire arc? Alright, they could have been helpful. Okay, yeah, they mentioned they didn't take in an arc or two, but couldn't they also mention why the hell they're... I don't know, where the hell were they throughout the entire arc? Were they like... Were they busy in the military or something? Or whatever job they're taking at them? Or whatever job they're taking at the moment. It was a fun. It's a nice filler episode, but it's something else an interesting one, though. Maybe it's just not really the one I'm just thinking about. Something I'm not. Next up is Mario. If Mario was in Fall Guys. Hey, remember Fall Guys is okay, no. Fall Guys is still popular. Okay, Fall Guys is not okay for everyone who's asking. No, Fall Guys is not dead. This doesn't really have much as the many players it used to have on launch. Maybe it was at this point when that was not that really great. Maybe it was just at the time. Maybe it's just that people want to talk about our games. Overall, it's a pretty good episode. Yeah, I did feel like it feels like weird there was a bit of actual lore, despite the fact this episode was more about Prisima. It's just about basically just guys just trying to get throughout the entire episode. But yeah, oh well. Overall, a fun little episode. For SNG4 Food Wars. No, not that anime. No, not that eating food inside your video series. I mean, this episode. And with Lazy Feet, this episode truly feels like it uses Lazy Meat Freeman's voice in the video. Yeah, if you're wondering, 1 second. Okay. Oh yeah, back to the video. I feel like personally saying this, but I felt Lizzie Freeman after the whole fight. I felt that, yeah, maybe I was at the time thinking, oh, hey, I'm betting this voicing was just temporary and not permanent and everything. And I just think, okay, look, look, this is the third time my prediction aged like milk. Boy, it aged like milk. I was thought this thing was just going to be temporary, but nope, it's permanent again. And I just think the voice thing, surely it's just going to be temporary. Look, no offense, but I think Lizzie Freeman is a fine voice actress, and even was two characters that would actually never actually know her. Maybe I just think, I'm betting all of this is just temporary. No, it's not. I need to stop saying stuff that would end up being predicted wrong in the real life world. Excuse me. In the world of real life. Excuse me. Anywho, back to the review. I would like to say that personally, I felt the episode's plot is they're having a party, despite Princess Peach is not wanting a party. And yeah, sadly, Peach in the series has admit, yeah, in season 10 she's been reduced to a Karen meme of it. Seriously, people stop with those memes anyway. So yeah, we do see a fully of Maggie's new voice actress, and also an entire Full Wars episode. Also, personally, I feel like this episode is a much better version of one of my least favorite episodes from the show, Boys vs. Girls. Yeah, I always feel like it's a much better version of the Boys vs. Girls episode. And honestly, it does show that at least it does have some potential. It does have potential. It's a fun episode, and I also enjoyed it. Yeah, no. Next one. Super Mario 3D All Stars. Yeah, this episode was mainly to celebrate the new Super Mario 3D All Stars, which I did really well, but I'm still fixing some bug fixes. I'm still, it's a more refined episode. It's just more. But I do admit, it's a final episode. I'd see some Mario Chaos. If Mario wasn't Among Us, which surprisingly took a few episodes to actually do. Honestly, it's a final episode. It's just Mario just indicated that the green guy was Luigi, and funny how there's a Xenomorph there. And I know, I get why. No, also, my only complaint I have with the video is how the baby. How did the Xenomorph get shot by a bullet? By freaking bullets! Despite the fact that these guys mostly only get killed by plasma rifle. Did they forget plasma rifles kind of exist in this universe? Those things at least try able to kill. Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I just felt some logic doesn't make any sense when you think about it. But, anyway, yeah, a good episode. Mario expand SNG4 expands his brain. Expands his brain is an episode that basically focuses more. Yeah, it just felt like a serious as shit posting. It's just more of an anthology episode. It's more just Mario looking at the weird dumpster filled with what the hell rejected video games. Stuff happens. Oh, and a quick DLC cameo. Yeah, still they don't want to put DLC in an actual video, and always relegate her in cameos. And yeah, overall, pretty fun little just short jokes and sketch. It's a pretty fun episode. Okay, I know this episode is done by 2 titles, but I'll just say it anyways. SNG4 Steve vs Smash Bros, or now called SNG, now called Steve vs Fights Everyone, is an episode I enjoyed. I do enjoy the episode, and it's pretty fun. But the only complaint I had with this episode is that Mario is Sans in the video. I kind of wish is Banjo-Kazooie, despite the fact I'm a fan. Despite I'm not really a fan of Banjo-Kazooie, would make sense since considering they're both owned by Nintendo characters instead of Sans. I get Sans as a more popular character and all, and everything else, and he can get his own Smash game. Even in this universe, he's actually a Smash fighter, but honestly, I would have gone with Steve I would have just gone with Banjo-Kazooie over Sans. I think it would make a lot of sense, to my opinion, and by the way, yeah, this episode was made because, hey, Steve was in Smash, and I was really excited that he was in Smash Bros. But I do hope they will make an episode for, like, Sephiroth being in Smash. Oh, we get that at some point, though. I know they might be a bit late, but, oh well. Oh well, that's my opinion. What If Mario Wasn't Meta Runner was an episode that, while not being technically counted more as a related episode, and not much of a. Yeah, this episode was made as, oh hey, Meta Run Season 2 is coming out, so let's just make a poorly parody. We'll just make a parody version, so parody of Season 1. I bet they're gonna do something like this for Season 2 at least. You know who they're parodying. It's meant to be a self-parody at best. It's just more of a self-parody dream. It would be funny to imagine the deer. So, yeah. Next is smg4, a fan-written episode. 4 million subscribers special. Let's just go with a quick prologue of this episode. The episode itself begins with, yeah, a promo. Hey, we have new merch of Mari. We have new hat merch. For a 4 million subscriber special, mind you, this was released during the 4 million subscriber episode, but I personally felt like they should have gone with a better hat design than just a simple big SMG4 hat. Honestly, I kind of wish there was I know we already spent mostly on the more Italian merch, but I felt that personally I kind of wish they had at least did something a little, maybe a bit more for it, other than just a big hat. The big SMG4, just a pin on a big SMG4 hat, and voila, much. I know, maybe I'm just a guy who prefer more actual bigger, maybe I just prefer a bit more other merch. But anyways, with that aside. Yeah, this is an episode that was wanting to celebrate SNG4's 4 million subscriber special by asking people on Reddit to write 5 scenario. Here's in an episode. I'm not gonna read all the. I'm just gonna read at least a short version of every single scenario that was posted in the episode. In this episode. Mario. Yeah, scenario 1 is Mario wanting spaghetti and smash. 2, Sneak being in a tree, basically bring back Mario Fighter as well, FM as well as Q. For some reason, fighting aggressively as Xenomorph, that he also the reason that fighting Mario is here because he wants to arrest Steve for killing Banjo. Okay, I know that the SNG. I don't consider that episode as Okay, I don't think. Who reported that Banjo was murdered? Did Microsoft went like, hey, I wonder what Banjo went or something? And secondly, I don't think people technically did die in as and I don't remember any characters that you truly die unless you count Telsey and Break Stuff. Which, yeah, to this day, I thought Break Stuff was one of the more weaker reasons. Why can't Telsey? He should just respawn. I don't think Banjo can quote unquote die because, for one, respawn stations are kind of a thing in this universe, you know? Unless you're telling me, oh hey, unless you you do realize this kind of a respawn life system, you know. I don't think Banjo can truly quote unquote die. And I don't think truly character like I don't think Banjo can truly die. Banjo Kazooie can truly die because these guys can just come back to life any other week. So I'm just gonna say sure. I'm just gonna bet these guys are gonna come back in another episode or two. So yeah. So yeah, no. So yeah, I'm just gonna assume they just come back to life and just report themselves their own deaths or whatever. Let's see. And also decided that you. Later, Mario meets the group of sentient vegetables, yeah, the vegetable characters for some reason, and decided what to do with the communism zone that isn't in the Soviet Pizza Hut. They already dealt with it. More quick cameos, and they also went to space. Mm. Yeah, that's and that's what they're doing the communism. They send this at conquering space. Now Mars in space. Is here nervous. Mario finally got his soul back from Cube, and yeah, that's pretty much the episode. Really, this episode was just really just a fan done episode. Not really too much. It's really just the fans just writing an episode, and that's it. It's just more of a written episode, really. So yeah, I don't really see much of anything in my. It's a fun episode, and really, I don't think it does much. It's a harmless episode, and it's just more for fans, really. Now we get to an interesting Halloween episode. Texture. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm. Okay, so so we get to smg4 texture not found. This is a Halloween episode. Yep, Halloween episode. So yeah, I'm just gonna say. I am just gonna say. Mm. So yeah, basically the plot is body of body snatchers pretty much, but I still think of the Invasion of the Body Snatchers episode. And fun fact, this episode was actually the first time that I written by a different fan, by a guest writer. It's Dio's voice actress. Yeah, no joke. Dio's voice actress wrote the episode. It's a fun little Invasion of the Body Snatchers episode, as well as being a nice little fun episode. I think the fun little episode. I do like the action scenes and everything else. And yeah, it's good. I'm also gonna say this before we go do this, but I'm just gonna say this. But I felt that yeah, overall it's a good episode, and the ending does show some reveals of Plan B of why you should pay before why you should do pay before why this is why you should right pay your who you're bribing first before stuff like this happens. And by the way, this took place over the or at least and yeah, this was took place. I do feel like the ending was more just where did it all happen and whatnot, and it does show us a G tree. Yeah, having a backup plan, yeah, you should have paid me for that. Anyway, overall, pretty good episode, and pretty fun episode. Oh yeah, there's a one minor complaint. Maggie, could you? Yeah, missed opportunity for Maggie. Why did Maggie carve an uwu? Shouldn't she carve at least an inkling at least? It would have been a lot fun. I would have gone with it. It would have been a lot funnier if she carves an inkling at least. As uwu doesn't really feel like a perfect thing I would carve a pumpkin that she would carve. Look, I know that Master G4 wants to move on from Splatoon, but I felt Inkling Joe would have been a lot funnier as a reference. Or does she just don't want, still just want to move on from being an Inkling? Still, I just felt an Inkling joke would have been a much funnier than an Uwu joke. I know people find Uwu funny, but personally, I would have just gone with an Inkling joke than an Uwu joke. Oak. Overall, still a good episode. I just think the opportunities episodes didn't really feel right. Next episode had a bit of a thumbnail change. The original thumbnail change was showing Mario eating a corn, just feeding corn. I assume that's the main reason I got the. Then we got the second and third versions, which are just the same, just one of them with better lighting. It's called the Corn Trip, or whatever. Honestly, the episode was just a road trip episode between. and Rob and Bob just going on a road trip. It's a fun little episode, more going on the chemistry. Seeing more of their chemistry of it in this episode. It's a fun episode, not too much to say. Or the snap. Okay, yeah. For those wondering, I want to talk about something that this episode did. I think it's an alright episode, and I do feel like it was more paradising the trend of VTubers at the day. I did. While this episode was a popular parodying the trend of VTubers at the now, while this video might be dated in case of VTubers became less popular nowadays, but I feel like VTubers have been going on the rise recently. Has been a bit on the rise recently. Yeah, no joke. I feel like VTubers have been on the rising side as of late. Mostly because and yeah, VTubers have been on the rise recently, and even myself, I do watch VTubers on occasion. I don't watch VTubers as much as a lot of people do. I only watch them on occasion and even listen to them singing. That's it. I don't really watch them too much. I'm not really the guy who was in the rabbit hole. I'm just the guy who just really just want to enjoy something. Can you stop assuming everyone is on the rabbit hole because they watch VTubers? Yeah, I admit, and I do feel like it was also thanks to whole like English lately, having their own English department and really making a lot of money off that department as well as their Indian department as well as their second Indian department. And by the way, this episode was released a bit of hours after the Trash Taste episode, which is a podcast for an anime character, where Mori was in this episode. Yeah, no joke. They literally had to find ways to put her on camera. It does look a little weird that they're talking to a blind person, talking to nothing, in off camera. But I get what. But overall, it's a good episode, and I do feel like the ending feels like it's gonna start an orc or something. But I know, but I also want to tell the biggest sin of this episode. This episode was supposed to be a crossover episode. There was in the how Meta Runner triggers you as well as some other promotions. They were having a crossover with Natalie Bradley and SMG4, or in the crossover episode. And this was a crossover, by the way. He just cameos throughout the entire episode. Also, this episode was written by Dio's voice actress again, but I felt this episode, my only complaint I have with this episode is that it's supposed to be a crossover with Natalie Bradley and SNG4. They promoted this as a crossover, but it kind of feels like a missed opportunity for a crossover. It just acts as just more, hey, I'm just here as a cameo, but yeah. Uh, shouldn't they find better ways to use her or something? Like, I'm sorry, but couldn't they, like, I don't know, you do something else with her and, mm, sorry, I'm just really not really happy with it. And I was not really happy with this episode because it didn't feel it was wasted in that sort of idea of a actual crossover episode. I kind of wish it was an actual crossover episode. And I do feel like the ending of this episode did feel like it's in a story arc at best, but maybe I'm just a guy who just expecting stuff like this. But then again, Marilyn was still on at the time, so maybe that. God, I really need to watch more Metal Runner. I gotta go watch a lot of the episodes. I will get season 2. Yeah, speaking of Metal Runner, I will eventually get a review of the next season of Metal Runner. Maybe during maybe 2 months later or so, or whenever I feel like I should continue watching Metal Runner. I'm busy with other shows at the time and trying to recover myself from DeviantArt and everything. So yeah, that's why I really haven't been doing a lot of reviews as of late. Oh, funny thing. This also was going to debut something of what Melody's debut form, but I'm not going to say what it is. But yeah, this was going to be originally the waifu machine was going to create that girl. However, the model wasn't ready at the time, so yeah, that's why they had the Melody cameo there. Mario Cookie. Cooking with Mario and Bowser, World Tour. Yeah, obviously this episode was meant to be a World Tour episode. We get to Ningopolis and still reminding. I do find this episode is really nice of them to go back to just doing just cooking. It's been a while. Also, we get to an Ningopolis episode, which I kind of wish they also still go with like a human versus Inkling arc. I still wish that there was still a human versus Inkling arc at some point. Yeah, maybe it's just me, but I'm still waiting for an Inkling versus human arc. Yeah, no joke. I'm still waiting for a human versus Inkling arc at some point. Arc. Maybe I do hope she gets a human versus Inkling arc at some point. Maybe after the 10th anniversary, and if Splatoon 3 comes out, I would like to see a human versus Inkling arc at some point. Please make it happen, SMG4. A human versus Inkling arc. Well, I just felt like it would have been a great idea for an arc. Maybe at some point, but no, well, maybe. I know SMG4 want to move on, but move on from the Splatoon. But I would like to see a human versus Inkling arc whenever Splatoon gets a third game, or at least something Splatoon related happens. Please make it happen. Since he's okay of using Inkopolis every other week, so maybe human versus Inkling arc at some point. Maybe after the 10-year arc. Maybe a year after that. Overall, still a good episode. The Mario Master Madness, pretty much a fun little episode. So we see the Happy Salesman just try to sell his mask against whatever. Yeah, I'm not gonna say why, but I just assume it was just something else. Yeah, I don't really. Where also he's not selling some certain masks because of the incident. Yeah, everyone speculated it was the New Year's episode, but it was Legends, but it was Majora's Mask. It would have made sense if it was the Majora's Mask episode. Oh, made a lot of sense actually. Also, do we need to reference that certain thing what's going on? Seriously, can people just stop saying this? Like, I just want to mind my own effing business sometimes. That's alright. I can be that guy sometimes. Okay, so yeah, the episode itself pretty much just a series of just them just wearing different masks with abilities and whatnot. And also the Deku mask featuring Melody as a human. Yeah, funny thing about this episode. Originally, War of the Nymphs was going to show her as a human, but unfortunately, unfortunately, she was one of the characters that didn't happen. Yeah, this was originally going to be revealed in the War of this episode, but yeah. Also, I don't really mind. I do really like her melon design. I do find the more lively motif. Despite being a 1 year old, she actually looks like she's 18 or something. And else. Also, I'm assuming this is just temporary, not permanent, since we only seen like the only times we ever see this form. By the way, yeah, okay, we'll talk about that later. Let's just yeah, it's a fun episode. We get to fun little shenanigans and whatnot, and yeah. Anywho, let's just go. We get to Maggie's part-time job. Yeah, we don't really see a lot of her. Why she's not going back to her police job? Is her police job not been that great lately? Yeah, yeah, it's about Maggie just doing babysitting throughout the episode with Jub Jub, and I think think it's fun little chemistry and whatnot. And I got a little used to JoJo, but he's not my favorite character. And yeah, I do feel like the beating up humor is quite funny at least. And if it's more of that. However, it's more just a babysitting episode. It's a typical babysitting episode, but it's a typical babysitting episode. Also, nice showing in the good old day. Ah, yes, nice to see. These certain scenes like a pair. It also makes several callbacks, like the good old time. And nice little Easter eggs to the episode. Oh, and fun fact, there was also a poster that shows something of a poster of the episode there. And yeah, I admit of that Project Aurora episode. Oh, then yeah, this episode was just also Demon Shumi appears. I'm only gonna call him by that name because I'm not calling him by the other certain name. It's a fun episode, and also, yeah, we do see a bit of the Maggie Inkling form of a quick cameo that was also. There's a picture on the episode and others. Still a good episode, though I admit it was something at the time that I still. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I had aged like meh. Oh. Oh yeah, right. Also, funny thing, they also show Maggie fantasizing Melody as a human. We don't really actually see her other than that episode, other than the Mask of Madness. We don't really see if it's permanent or something. And even in the other episode, in the Christmas episode, we okay, we'll just get on that later. But first, we get to if Mario was in Cyberpunk 2077. A fun little episode, a good episode. I do feel like it was meant to be a bit of a parody episode, a bit, but I still think it's sort of a fun episode. More while just being sort of a theme with Johnny Silverhand and with Keanu Reeves being and as well as Hideo Kojima being the antagonist of the episode makes sense. Or the Osaka, considering Osaka's are Japanese people, and these are the Osaka original Japanese people. And yeah, I admit I played Cyberpunk. It's still good. Just don't mind the bugs, and we'll just go on. And I think yeah, maybe it wasn't as hype as everyone expected, but I do hope the bug fixes get fixed and whatnot. I do hope that, yeah, well, C Project will just bounce up, and I don't think the investor lawsuit would. I think they'll win with the investors' lawsuits. Next, we go to the Christmas episode. It's a fun little Christmas episode and everything, though. And finally, kind of weird. How did Mario know? How did Mario knew about? Did SNG3 knew about abilities turning into a human? Then again, I wouldn't say that. Then again, that's physically impossible. I just assume he just thought of it, just happened to think about it because I don't think anyone will probably. I don't think this is physically possible or physically can. So it's just, I'm just gonna assume he just think about it or something like that. I don't think that Melody thing was ever canon. Outside of that fantasy scene, or even this, and even the storytelling with SNG Tree, we never seen if this was ever truly. So yeah, and we end off this whole thing until SNG4 decided to come back and with a huge 2020 collab. No, I am not going to say hey, this is a canon episode. No, I don't count it as canon. As for what? No, I'm not counting that Melody as canon since this is a community made. Since this was made by the fans, not SMG4 themselves. And overall, a good episode. It's just a fun little episode about basically SMG4 doing. It's just more of sketches with fans. And yeah. Yeah, it's a fun episode, and yeah, it's still a good episode. Yeah. Overall, I think SNG for 2020 this year has been a pretty good year for him, and yeah. Mm-mm. Overall, this year has been pretty good. I do feel like DLC has been getting more character development in that season, thanks to Maggie's Destiny and some other videos. I do feel like certain characters did get some lesser screen time. I did feel like Psycho did get lesser screen time as the season goes on, but I do hope she gets more next season and possibly a story arc a year after that. But for now, this is overall a pretty good story. This is good. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye. Bye.